I just got a DM on here from a girl that said, "Good morning, James. I know you'll probably never see this, but if you could just take 1 minute to read it, would really mean a lot to me. I'm really struggling right now because Spirit Airlines just filed for bankruptcy and I have lost my job." I stand behind what I said, 10 toes down.
James Charles publicly humiliated a laid-off Spirit Airlines worker for asking for help. Then he apologized. Then she told him she did not accept it. Then he apologized again, and this time he announced a $250,000 charity initiative. And instead of ending the drama, that move opened a whole new debate. So today, we are breaking all of it down. The rant, the receipts, the rejection, and why the latest update has people even more divided than the original video did.
I just got a DM on here from a girl that said, "Good morning, James. I know you'll probably never see this, but if you could just take 1 minute to read it, would really mean a lot to me. I'm really struggling right now because Spirit Airlines just filed for bankruptcy and I have lost my job. Here's the GoFundMe link. Any donations help."
So here is the setup. On May 2nd, Spirit Airlines officially shut down after 34 years of operation. Roughly 17,000 employees lost their jobs overnight, according to the Associated Press. One of those people was Amber Lendoff Vargas, a 30-year-old operations agent who had been working at Boston Logan Airport. Amber started a GoFundMe, and at some point around May 7th or 8th, she sent a DM to James Charles on TikTok sharing that link. Now, nobody is required to donate to a stranger online. James could have ignored it. He could have scrolled past it. He could have done literally nothing. Instead, he made a video about it. And that video is where everything started to unravel. The original video, which has since been deleted, showed James reading Amber's DM out loud and reacting to it in real time. According to multiple outlets, including E! Online and People, who documented the video before it was deleted, he said, "You know what else would help you? Getting another job. Yeah, try that. Because in the time it took you to copy and paste the same message to myself, who you don't follow, by the way, and probably 100 other influencers and celebrities, you could have applied for 100 other jobs." And then, this is the line that got screenshotted and shared everywhere.
Or they do, "You know what else would help you? Getting another job. Yeah, try that." Because in the time that it took you to copy and paste the same fuck-ass message to myself, who you don't follow, by the way, and probably 100 other influencers and celebrities, you could have applied for 100 other jobs, but you didn't because you're a lazy piece of shit and you're entitled. And you think that influencers and celebrities should fund you.
He said, "You didn't because you're a lazy piece of shit and you're entitled, and you think influencers and celebrities should fund your life for you." He deleted the video. But by that point, the backlash had already started.
I stand behind what I said, 10 toes down. The reason I made that video yesterday, though, was a lot of people these days do not have the make it work mentality. They have no desire to actually put in the effort to try to fix a problem and get themselves out of a situation.
A few days later, James posted a first apology video on TikTok. According to People and E! Online, he said, "It was rude, it was obnoxious, it was privileged, and most importantly, it was completely fucking unnecessary." When I saw that DM, I absolutely had the choice to ignore it and say absolutely nothing at all and move on with my day. But instead, I couldn't even tell you why her message just triggered me, and I decided instead to make a video about it. He admitted he had shamed someone who may have been using GoFundMe as a last resort. He also sent Amber a private DM apology. The DM, which Amber later shared publicly, read in part, "Hi Amber, I wanted to reach out privately with an apology for the video I made. It was disgraceful and completely unnecessary, and there is no excuse for me yelling at and berating someone for asking for help in a shitty situation that was completely out of your control. I'm so sorry for adding to what was already a distressing time. I'm so ashamed, not only for the video, but also for being so disgustingly out of touch." So, he apologized on camera. He apologized in private. He reportedly donated to her GoFundMe, though the exact amount is unconfirmed. And then Amber responded.
It's me. I'm the girl that James Charles talked about in that video. Everybody's been asking for a video and I haven't been able to make it because of a few reasons. One being my anxiety. I have really bad anxiety.
In a public TikTok series, Amber played the private DM to music.
Did James Charles really send you that message? He did. He decided to message me on TikTok and he wanted to privately apologize. I know another question on here is, do I accept his apology? So I'm just gonna answer it right together. Hell no. I don't accept his apology, especially because he was very publicly with what he said.
And gave her verdict. I do not accept his apology. Hell no. Especially because he was very public with what he said, and then you thought it was okay to message me privately. She also said, you apologized in private after embarrassing me publicly. But some damage doesn't disappear just because you finally feel guilty. I heard the apology, I just don't accept it. And that line, you apologized in private after embarrassing me publicly, became the defining quote of the entire situation. Then, on May 24th, James posted a second apology. This one was over 7 minutes long on his main TikTok account. According to Just Jared, he said, the video that I posted 2 weeks ago about the Spirit Airlines situation was awful. That video was terrible. It was nasty. It was disrespectful. It was completely unnecessary, and seeing clips of it all over my For You page is embarrassing to say the least. He also said, I clearly needed a massive reality check. I spoke from a privileged bubble. And then he announced something new. James announced the Painted Project, a new initiative under his beauty brand, Painted. According to Just Jared's coverage of the video, he said he is making an initial personal contribution of $250,000 with the stated goals of crisis funding for people who lost jobs, community partnerships, and creative industry scholarships. The official Painted Project page lists the 3 program areas and states that crisis funding applications are set to open May 27th, 2026. And here is the part that nobody expected James to say himself. He looked at the camera and acknowledged exactly what everyone was already thinking. I know launching this right now is probably gonna look just as performative as making an apology video or sending out donations, and I have to be okay with that. The internet immediately split into 2 camps. On one side, there are people who think this is genuine accountability. Some viewers called the $250,000 commitment real change and pointed to the fact that James himself acknowledged the timing problem, which they read as self-awareness. On the other side, which seems much louder, people are calling the whole thing damage control. The most common comment theme is some version of, he's only doing this because he lost 450,000 followers. And the backlash was not just from random accounts either. Jackie Aina made a call-out video that got over 12 million views. She said, I don't think James has ever had a real job. I don't think he's ever clocked in. I don't think he's ever had a W-2. The way you're talking to this person shows. It is very disgusting and very inappropriate. And what made that clip land even harder? James responded in his own comment section and agreed with her. He wrote, yes, she definitely did, when someone said Jackie had hit the nail on the head. Tana Mongeau addressed the situation on her podcast on May 24th, the same day James posted his second apology. According to Just Jared, she said, your initial reaction is not only rage, but public rage? I am aghast. I think it's so disgusting. We as influencers do owe the people who watch us and our fans, and just people in general, our money. Our entire source of income is based on the fact that the working class feels connection to us. She also announced that profits from that podcast episode would go toward helping former Spirit Airlines employees. Trisha Paytas weighed in on her own podcast, saying James, quote, does not deserve his platform and that it's kind of like his duty to help people once in a while. Worth noting, Trisha and James have had ongoing friction going back years, so she is not exactly a neutral voice here. And in one of the more unexpected moments in all of this, Gypsy Rose Blanchard donated $500 to Amber's GoFundMe and left a message that read, hi, my name is Gypsy Rose Blanchard and I am an influencer on TikTok. I have 9.3 million followers, and I'm truly sorry for what happened, and I'm sending many positive vibes to you. Amber's GoFundMe crossed $40,000. She also gained over 30,000 followers from the viral moment.
Gypsy also added, "The point that I made was just because someone has a large following does not give them the right to bully other people. At the end of the day, I didn't want it to be about me because it's not about me." Amber has since gained 30,000 followers, and her GoFundMe page has...
And as of the latest reporting, James has not publicly responded to Tana Mongeau's comments. Here is why the internet was already primed to distrust him. This is not the first time James Charles has been at the center of a controversy that followed this exact pattern. Video goes viral, backlash hits, he apologizes, things quiet down, repeat. In 2019, the Dramageddon situation with Tati Westbrook had him losing over 1 million followers in a single day, a record at the time. He recovered. In 2021, he faced serious allegations about inappropriate messages with minors. He was never criminally charged, and he acknowledged exchanging messages with 2 people he said he believed were adults. Cosmetic brand Morphe ended its partnership with him as a result. He rebuilt under the Painted brand, and now, right in the middle of that rebuilding, this happened. The reason the pattern matters here is not to relitigate old drama. It is to explain why people are not giving him the benefit of the doubt this time. They have seen the cycle before: controversy, apology, reset, and they are asking whether the Painted project is the new version of that reset, or whether it is something different. That is the question the internet cannot agree on right now. Let's be fair about a few things here. First, nobody is legally required to donate to a stranger's GoFundMe. That is not actually in dispute. Even some of the people criticizing James have acknowledged that the underlying frustration with mass charity DMs is something a lot of creators deal with. The backlash was not about the decision to not donate. It was about the decision to publicly humiliate someone for asking. A Lady Bible noted this distinction directly, writing, "If I play devil's advocate, Charles might have had a point when it comes to people launching fundraisers for all sorts of reasons right now, but he certainly didn't need to kick Vargas when she was down." Second, in his second apology, James was unusually direct. Most influencer apologies are vague and lawyer-polished. He named the specific thing he got wrong, acknowledged that the charity launch would look performative, and used his own words against himself. Some viewers read that as genuine. Third, the Painted project is real. The official page exists. Crisis funding applications open May 27th. Whether the impact lives up to the announcement is something that will play out over time and cannot be fairly judged based on a 24-hour-old announcement. What we can say is this: the initiative is real. Whether the motive is genuine is a question only James Charles can answer. And publicly, he has acknowledged that he cannot control how it looks. Now let's be precise about what we actually know and what we do not. Confirmed, Spirit Airlines shut down May 2nd, and approximately 17,000 people lost their jobs, including Amber Lendoff Vargas. James posted and deleted a rant video around May 7th or 8th, calling Amber a lazy piece of shit and entitled. He posted a first apology on May 9th, admitting the video was rude, obnoxious, and privileged. Amber publicly rejected his private DM apology and posted the alleged DM screenshot. He posted a second, roughly 7-minute apology on May 24th. The Painted project is a real initiative with an official page listing crisis funding, community partnerships, and creative scholarships, with applications opening May 27th. James lost over 450,000 followers by mid-May. Amber's GoFundMe raised over $40,000, and Gypsy Rose Blanchard donated $500 to Amber's GoFundMe.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard is showing some love to the alleged ex-Spirit Airlines worker who was laid off and then publicly shamed by James Charles for asking for donations to her GoFundMe. Gypsy put in over $500 to the GoFundMe of Amber Lendoff Vargas after Amber announced she and around 17,000
reported, but not fully independently verified. James reportedly donated to Amber's GoFundMe. A $5,000 donation appeared under his name, but TMZ has not confirmed it was him. His initial personal contribution to the Painted project is reported as $250,000 by Just Jared based on his video, but this figure does not appear independently on the official Painted project page in the sources checked. Still unclear whether Amber has made any public statement about the May 24th second apology or the Painted project. As of the latest reporting, none was found. The full legal or organizational structure of the Painted project is also not confirmed in the available sources. We do not know whether it is a registered nonprofit, a brand fund, or another structure. It is also unclear whether the $250,000 is already allocated, pledged, or pending the program launch. And it is unclear whether any brand deals or sponsorships were dropped as a result of the scandal. And then there is speculation. The idea that the charity is purely a PR move is not confirmed. James himself acknowledged the timing looks performative, but motive is not something that can be confirmed from the outside. The idea that James only apologized because of follower loss is also a popular theory, but not a confirmed fact. So here is where this lands. James Charles said something genuinely cruel to someone who was genuinely struggling. A millionaire with 83 million followers publicly called a laid-off airport worker lazy and entitled. That happened. It is documented. The backlash was real. He apologized. She said no. He apologized again and attached a $250,000 charity initiative, and even acknowledged, in his own words, that he knew it would look performative. And that is actually the most interesting part of this whole situation. Not the rant, not the first apology, the fact that he launched the charity anyway, knowing how it would look, and said so publicly. Is that growth? Is that PR? Is it both? The internet cannot agree. And honestly, the Painted project has been live for less than 48 hours at the time of this video. There is no way to fairly judge a multi-year initiative in its first 2 days. What can be judged is the original moment. And on that, the verdict is clear. Official verdict, real backlash. The criticism is justified. The original video was cruel. The timing of the charity launch is legitimately debatable. And Amber's rejection of his private apology after a public humiliation will remain the defining moment of this story, regardless of what comes next. The question now is whether the Painted project turns into something real, or whether this becomes another chapter in a very long cycle. So here is what I want to know from you. Is the Painted project genuine growth, or is it the influencer version of damage control? And do you think Amber should or will ever accept any version of an apology from him? Leave your take below.